Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing the series of interviews with new indie artists. In this episode we find out all about Damon Brock. We're here again with the New Music Review. Today we've got Damon Brock on, and Damon, would you like to tell us who you are, what you're all about, what you're doing?
Great, yeah, well thanks for having me on, Tim. My name's Damon Brock. I am a Worthing-based singer-songwriter. I've just released my second EP, which is called The Sum of Our Content. So that's just come out October the 11th, and I'm taking it out there, having to play locally, which I think I'll get on to explain later. But yeah, playing it locally and enjoying it being out in the world.
Okay, how long have you been doing it, Damon?
I've been writing my own stuff for about 20 years. Only picked up the guitar in my kind of mid-20s. I'm now in my late 40s. Just played for my own fun and enjoyment. Started writing stuff for the same goal, and then put some stuff out kind of on MySpace, but not particularly professionally. But then over the last few years, a few things have happened that's made me think about doing it more seriously, and released my first track out on, proper distribution, December 22. So I've had an EP out a year after that, and the second EP out on Friday.
Cool. So you've been busy?
Yeah, pretty busy.
Is it a full-time hobby? Have you got a day job? Is this a pastime, or is this what you do full-time?
No, so it's more than a pastime, I would say. Now it was a hobby to begin with, just messing about, enjoying the process, writing songs and finding that I could do it, and I thought they were pretty good. Yeah, I've taken it more seriously, thinking that they deserve to be heard. I feel the first EP, I just got used to being in a studio, having a producer, putting them out there. And with this one, I've done it a bit more kind of systematically, a little bit more professionally. So I've released 3 of the tracks over the summer, done all the applying for playlisting and all that stuff, been playing live where I can, putting out more things on social media to try to, get a bit more awareness out there. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So you're a solo artist, you don't know band or collaboration or anything?
Yeah, so solo at the moment. I am jamming with some people with a view to getting a band together to play these songs live, and also I've held some other songs that I've written back, which I feel would be more suited to having a full band play them. I mean, the first 2 EPs, I got a producer from Brighton called Steve Baker.
I know Steve. I know Steve. Well, I don't know him, but I follow him, and we've chatted and messaged about 1 or 2 things in the past.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you find him, but I find working with him fantastic. And so he's taken my tracks, and I've just given him the kind of the spec, and he's taken them and built a kind of full band sound around them. But I've held a few songs back that I felt will work better in a studio with a full band, making them together.
Sure, yeah.
So the aim would be to keep playing, because I'm enjoying playing solo at the moment and building up that relationship and rapport with an audience. But I also want to kind of just go a bit bigger with a band.
Yeah. So how's your sort of general promotion of the material that you've done so far? How's that going? What are you using to do it generally? Are you paying for it? Are you doing paid ads? Are you just looking for are you using places like Submit Hub, Groover, etc.? I
have used Muso Soup this time round for specifically for the EP release. I did use Submit Hub and Groover across the year, and with kind of mixed results, and I've found Muso Soup to have mixed results as well. But because it's only just been released. I've literally got the updates today that there's going to be a blog writing about it tomorrow. There's another one that's going to come out on Thursday. But I've also, as well as that, I've also been kind of just cold emailing anyone that I've Googled who do blogs about my kind of music, indie rock, Americana, singer-songwriter stuff, and I got a couple of responses on that, which I was quite pleased about. A really nice review from a guy called Rocking Magpie. That came out last week, and I think I'm also going to be featured. Hopefully, at least I got the email saying I would be featured on the new monthly EP reviews in Americana, UK, which I'm quite chuffed about.
Cool.
Don't know what they're going to say yet, but
yeah, and it's interesting that you've had some responses at least. I mean, I've interacted with obviously Groover. I do reviews for Groover anyway. And I'm also on Muso Soup's books as well, but I'm on sort of a holiday, if you like, on Muso Soup at the moment because I just haven't got time to pick them all up. Now, it's good to know that you're getting some sort of traction from somewhere. So do you think that, what's your view on blogs, YouTube, Q&As like this, people writing about your stuff generally, unless it's the really, really big outlets, what's your view on that sort of thing? Do you think it's valuable?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Actually, I had the same question after I had the first, most of the responses, like 99% of the responses on Muso Soup. And I went through all of them, I went onto their websites, looked at their previous stuff of what they'd written. A lot of them looked like they had literally just copied and pasted the press release or used AI to rejig it.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, here's £6 or whatever, have a nice day kind of thing. So I wasn't too happy about it, and I wrote to Muso Soup saying this is the situation that I feel like I'm in. Am I doing something wrong? Is there something I should be doing? And I actually got a video back from Chris, yes, that's right, of Muso Soup, who was super helpful. The guy that runs Muso Soup gave me a bit of his background, and then he dived into me and the offers that I've got and my presence online. And he said, I have to go to page 5 of Google search results under your name to find the first review. And he said, if you want to get out there, get yourself interested by venues, booking agents, labels, they'll want to see reviews. And you haven't got enough out on there. He was, blunt and to the point, and I really, that was really refreshing, and I really enjoyed that. And I thought, well, okay. And he picked about 3 or 4 of the blogs that said this is a nice guy. He's good. He's been around for ages, or she's responsive and writes good stuff. So I went with those particular people and some others as well. I gave myself a budget. So those, hopefully they're going to write some nice stuff that I can use as quotes on my website and on adverts if I end up advertising stuff. And hopefully I might end up, going up in Google responses, when people with the search engine kind of thing, to hopefully then get, a bit more of some more reviews online that, people will be able to see.
It's interesting because I think that things like reviews and online mags and blogs are a good thing, and it's good to know that you're getting some traction from those as well.
Yeah. So, and I think also getting the traction, once you've got that traction, then I feel like the important thing is to keep that relationship going as well, because I don't necessarily know where these people are based, but it would be nice to get an idea of that, and then say when I might be in town, or if they're, then I can say, come down to a show and do a review, that kind of thing. Yes.
I think getting live reviews is a good thing as well, if you can do that. Get people to interact in that way. So, as a solo artist, do you think that you are getting everything you need, without having anyone to sort of say to you, no, I don't like this bit, I don't like that bit, should we change this, should we change that? The interaction that a band might have. Or do you use people like Steve Baker or whoever it might be to kind of help you in that respect?
A lot of the stuff that I've brought to Steve has been written a long while ago, and I've played it live, and it's had good responses, and I've felt like they're kind of the finished article. I think from now on, I'm going to be jamming with a few people and play. I also play stuff that's new to local open mics, see how they go down. I do like the idea of collaborating and putting things out that aren't, maybe bouncing ideas with Steve, putting them on collaboration websites, potentially. Going back, kind of thinking about historically and what I've written, I think it's interesting, actually. I kind of think they're the finished thing when I've done them. I've had some responses recently to some stuff saying that I've written a long time ago that I consider finished, where people have come up to me and said, I didn't quite, maybe it didn't have that hook, it didn't really grab me, it was very nice, but didn't quite, get me. And when I finish a song, I don't really play around with it. I find a key that I feel comfortable in and a rhythm, and I play it, and that's, to me, that's been it. But I read a tweet by Ron Sexsmith the other day, the Canadian singer-songwriter, and he was saying, hey, this is it's my favorite time in how I write a record. I'm now going to play around with all of my new songs that I'm could potentially put on the record, and I'm going to play them in 3/4 time or 4/4 time, or change the keys, or change the tempos, and just see how they feel and see which bit fits better, which I've never thought about before as a concept. And I really like that idea that even though a song might feel finished to the writer, it might actually not be.
Yeah, I think some of the things I notice in a lot of tracks, a lot of songs that come through in various routes, whichever way they get through, singer-songwriters who work alone tend to miss out a little bit maybe on things like backing vocals and harmonies and that sort of thing. That's what I find, because the songs that really kind of get my attention a bit more is when they've had like a solo vocal up in the first verse and maybe the first chorus, but then later on it picks up. They start bringing the harmonies in, the backing vocals, some nice bits and pieces, and it really lifts the track. It maintains your interest. Yeah. I'm not sure. Some people who are solo artists don't always register that. They kind of listen to their own vocal and think that's fine. They don't hear all the other bits going on. Do you do? I mean, I had to listen through some of your stuff just earlier to have a sort of catch up. And what the first track I even heard was one that I'm sure we've either put on my website or I've done something with it because I knew the track. I'll tell you.
Is it Summer Days?
Yes.
The Brick song.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the opening track on the EP, and that came out in July. And when I wrote that, so that was obviously, Steve produced that. When I wrote that, it was a fairly gentle, folky, singer-songwritery song. But I do, but it's got this kind of poppy feel to it still. And I have written stuff that is very power pop, Fountains of Wayne like kind of stuff. I said to Steve, I want this to be a bit jaunty and energy and stuff, and he put on the opening kind of synth riff that starts it out, and then the kind of responding guitar riff that comes with it, that almost acts like a chorus in the song, because the song is 3 verses that doesn't have a typical chorus to it. He does a guitar solo in the middle of it where we worked on Samply, the app, which was just so easy to use to throw ideas about, and I recorded a just me warbling my idea of the guitar solo onto that section of the song in Samply, and he went and did it first take. Fantastic solo. And going back to your point about solo artists not hearing the stuff, I think sometimes they do hear it, but because it's just so in their head that whenever they play it, they don't think that it's not there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I
hear it anyway.
It's not there when it's recorded. Because when they hear it back, they still hear all that stuff.
Yes.
But it has to go in there. Also, they might be, I mean, Steve charges a certain rate that I was happy with paying. I think there were some people that put their stuff out by themselves don't get anyone else necessarily involved. They do it all themselves. And that's what I did actually on my first 2 tracks, where I was just testing out, doing it myself, just distributing stuff. And I think, when they put out those songs themselves, they haven't got a budget, and therefore maybe they don't have the time or the expertise to layer in pads and different layers. I mean, Steve goes, he throws in all sorts of stuff. He can throw the kitchen sink at stuff, because that's his expertise. His expertise is building songs.
Yeah, and I think when you're in that situation, you can put your hands on stuff really quickly that suits what you're doing. But time is another thing. I think a solo artist might want the idea, have the idea, but can't really pick the sound or the right harmony or whatever, and it just takes them too long, and they get fed up and messing about. Whereas somebody like Steve or whoever, a producer in that respect, may just say, well, do you know what, I've got this is my little group of sounds for that style. I'm going to pick something from there, I'm going to stick it in, and I'm not going to get too fussed about it. I'm just going to use it. And I think that's sometimes the way it can work, So where are you going next? What do you think's missing that might propel your music into kind of the next level?
Yeah, going back in time about 20 years.
Yeah, well, yeah. But is that really a thing there? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think I feel very comfortable where I am. Very comfortable on stage. I think what is missing is having enough time during the day, having enough energy. It'd be nice to have a team, but I can't afford a team. So you kind of have to pick and choose what you end up concentrating your energy on. I think what's next for me is I want to try and get signed up with a sync library or sync agency, just get the songs on there. I think the instrumental to Summer Days, for example, would be fantastic as a bed to TV shows, sports shows, that kind of thing. Just to get the songs kind of potentially earning something else. Right? I also want to play live more, maybe even get paid for doing that. Yeah.
What, a band get paid for playing live? Is that even not heard of nowadays?
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
There's been rumours.
I think it happened once.
But Worthing isn't far from Brighton. We're half an hour drive from there, and there's some really fantastic places, some great people that I've met over the last year or two who put on shows, be it the venues, be it couples putting on open mic showcases. Don't get paid for that. Slowly I'm building up a bit of a network of people that I know who put on shows, put on festival days, things like that. The next thing would be to try and get something kind of regular. There's a few people. I played somewhere on Wednesday. I met a few people that they've been around the block a few times, so they know plenty of places and the people to get in touch with. So it's all about who you know and networking and getting your name kind of.
That is definitely a thing. I mean, I've found, when I started doing this in lockdown, when I sort of got into the whole thinking about doing reviews of that sort of stuff, building a network of people is definitely where you need to be, I think. Having some people on tap for various things. And through what I've been doing, I got onto the whole Reddit scene. I don't know if you use Reddit, but there's a lot going on there. Whether it's useful, that's debatable, but there's a lot of information out there. And I fell into a subreddit of music marketing, which is cool because it gives me, a lot of people to throw something at. Anyway, I'm spinning off topic like we do. What is your DAW of choice? Your instrument sort of selection? What software are you using? Are you using Mac, PC? What are you doing in that respect?
Okay, so I have a just crafter acoustic that I always pick up if I have an idea. I am sat in my purpose-built music room garden, that's primarily because my wife actually has a disability, so I couldn't possibly play the guitar in the house
Right.
because she has a damage to her inner ear, and if too much loud noise makes her dizzy.
All right. Yeah, that's
So
not good.
for me to do music, we've built this little room,
Yeah.
which has
Cool.
been great. And I just pop in here in an evening. I've got a Mac next to me that I use with a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. What have I got? A Rode speaker. No, Rode microphone, M Audio BX5 monitors. I don't, but so that's for at the moment just laying down possibly more detailed ideas because I've been using a producer. I will send him the demos. We'll record at his studio in Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas that I come up with, I throw into voice memos on the iPhone so that I don't forget them, because I know that I will if I don't write them or record them down some way, and then flesh them out here. And if I get them to a finished song, then I'll put it on the Mac so that I've got a demo to then build up, share, stick on the publishing account so that it's there. That kind of thing, yeah.
Good, excellent. Okay, well, I think unless if you've got any questions you can ask me about anything, you're welcome to ask anything.
Oh, I don't think I've got anything off the top of my head, to be honest. It was a really good tip there about Reddit. I do use it when I Google. You get Google results, and Reddit tends to be one of the top ones, always about music.
Yeah.
Obviously you and I think we got acquainted on Threads.
Probably.
Which I've found really helpful in terms of building a community of like-minded people. If you keep your algorithm tight on Threads, then you only see what you want to see. So I only see music-related threads, people asking questions about different things, and it's interesting getting ideas of kind of the general consensus about distributors or different services or different ways of doing things. So that's always useful as well.
Yeah. I found Threads to be like that. I'm not sure how long it will stay like that, but hopefully for some time. Having said that, even on Twitter, I use Twitter a lot as well. And again, if you focus your attention and look at stuff and write stuff about what you're interested in as much as possible, it is a little more focused. You do still get random junk, but Threads is much more focused, I find, for that. So. And it's one of the things that I'm still trying to find out is I can see what traction I'm getting on your post, if you like. If I post something about you on my website, I can see how much people look at it. But what I don't know is what you get out of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've no idea.
No.
Do you follow your stats in that way at all? Do you know where your traffic's coming from?
In terms of my listeners that end up
generally, yeah.
To be honest, it's on such low levels at the moment. I could probably tell you the names of the people that are listening.
And their addresses and phone numbers.
Well, yeah, people could tell. Friends message me saying, "Oh, I was just listening, listening whilst doing the decorating." I was like, "Oh, that was you in Scotland, was it?" Yeah, that's great. I think there's levels that you get to on all these platforms, and if you hit those levels, then more things open up.
Yeah.
Right. But for like in Spotify, if you're over 10,000 listeners, you get Marquee or something like that. You get Discover Weekly. Mm-hmm. Getting to that level, I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. The numbers are building, and I know that my numbers on Instagram, I've just started TikTok about a month ago. I don't think a lot of that is going to necessarily translate organically into listeners. Not a lot. I'm considering doing some paid advertising on Meta. I put together a kind of trailer for the EP that's about 45 seconds long. And that's had a good response from friends saying it looks great. Thinking about putting that out as an ad, and that might start putting some numbers up of listeners.
Mm.
I think if every a day-to-day message on Instagram, I don't know if it makes a huge amount of difference. The other thing for me, as I said, I'm in my late 40s now, and a lot of this social media stuff has felt like something a bit alien to me. And I did HMV Brighton a few weeks ago, or about a month and a half ago, and the person that played before me, she was 17, and I checked her out she's in her summer holidays, right? And I checked her out on her Instagram, and she's her music's fantastic, and she's posting 5 reels a day or something like that. Got the time to do that. I'm lucky if I get one out a week. And I have to really think about, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about?
But
it doesn't feel natural to me. It's something that I'm growing into. Whereas I could tell with her, it was just totally natural to just jump in front of a camera and start.
But yeah, very cool. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap it up there, Damon. Great to have you.
Can I throw one more thing?
Of course you can.
Bit of a shout out.
Yes.
So tomorrow, which is going to be Monday, I don't know when this video is going out, but I did a session for a guy who he's got a YouTube channel called Cellar 92 Sessions, and it's recorded in a basement studio. And I did a couple of songs there a few weeks ago. The first song, which is Last Chance Again, which is one of the new tracks that came out with the EP on Friday. And I did Summer Days, just acoustic, a little bit like kind of Tiny Desk. And he's in Brighton. He's trying to build that up. He's in conversations with some fairly big names to play his sessions that are coming touring in Brighton. And yeah, it'd be great if some people could check out his stuff. He's done I think I was number 52, artist number 52 or something like that.
Okay, cool. Great to talk to you, Damon. Wish
Likewise,
you
Tim.
all the best
Thank
of luck with what you're doing, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon in the future.
Definitely.
All right,
cheers,
buddy. Take care.